A blessed day. I am Edwin Valles, your host for Be Not Afraid. So this is the third part of our interview series on an LGBT person journeying through a charismatic community. So pangatlo na po tayo. Ito na rin po yung last episode in our journey. So we are blessed to have with us a long-time member of a charismatic community, si Brother Akim. So Brother Akim, maybe you would like to greet our podcast viewers.
Hi everyone. So this is Akim Sabangan, and thank you so much for being with us for this part 3 series of Be Not Afraid.
Yan. So, recap ko lang, no? So, yung first part natin, kung hindi nyo pa po napapanood yan, sinare sa atin ni Brother Akim yung experience niya sa isang charismatic community all the way from experience with Life in the Spirit seminar until mas naging active siya dun sa ministry na yon. And then in the part 2 of our interview with Brother Akim, sinare naman niya sa atin yung kanyang journey as an LGBT person from booking to love life, no? So yung last part po nung part 2 interview na yon, so nag-end po siya na sinasabi niya na ang desire niya kasi yung naramdaman niya yung pagmamahal ng Panginoon in a powerful way through that charismatic community. At ang desire niya is to share that to others, 'di ba? So yung naikwento niya sa atin yung last relationship niya, nararamdaman niya yon, 'di ba? So nararamdaman niya yon na it was pure love enough na na-share niya yung love na na-experience with God to His special someone. But at the same time, habang ginagawa niya yon, merong component in that same-sex relationship na somehow bumabagabag sa kanya. It was the physical part, diba? So alam naman natin na if we commit to a person, diba, a loved one, part of that commitment is yung sexual part, no? So siguro doon tayo magsimula, Brother Akim, no? So ngayon, kung meron ka pa ring desire to share the love of God to others, whether others na community in general or others to a special person, paano mo balak i-reconcile yung pagkabagabag about that same-sex sexual activity?
Actually, mahirap na tanong yan, Kuya Edwin. But kasi I always believe that we as humans, we're not only physical we're also spiritual. So kumbaga, we're human being as a whole. So when we love a person, when we enter a relationship, it's not only physical Dapat also your relationship must be spiritual also. So what am I trying to say? So when I'm entering a relationship that time, talagang I'm really bothered na pag merong um, physical activities na ginagawa
Expression,
namin.
oh, yeah.
Yes, pag merong physical activities that we're doing ng partner ko, nababother talaga ako. I feel like I feel parang ang dumi-dumi ko, parang I feel so sinful. And then the next day, I'm going to the church, I'm going to the service, worship service. And then maaalala mo yung mga ginawa mo, and then you ask forgiveness from God. So it has become a cycle of doing the sin and then asking for forgiveness, doing the sin again, asking for forgiveness. So ganun yung naging cycle niya. But later on in my life, I realized, based on further studies, no, nabasa ko yung theology of the body. Nabasa ko yung theology of the body.
Ni Saint John Paul II, correct?
Yes. So that when I found out, although I'm actually, Kuya Edwin, that time when I was nung nabasa ko yung theology of the body, I'm studying liberal theology, and we're also studying sexual ethics. So meron pa ring tension between yun nga, physical relationship and then spiritual relationship. Meron pa ring tension in myself that time. Pero I was able to reconcile that because of the theology of the body. Alam mo, thank you for thank you for the grace of God that I was able to understand how important and valuable our body is, no, as people. And kumbaga parang we don't give this body to to anybody else. And yun nga sabi kasi doon, no, we're following the not only the natural law but also the biological law of nature. And sige, although malalim na pag-aaral yon, Kuya Edwin, but to cut it short, but to cut it short, um, the more I learn about the love of God, the more I learn from the church, the more I learn yung relationship based on how the church sees it and how the church is trying to teach in everyone. The more I the more I value my sexuality. Yes, I am a gay man. I understand my nature, but to give myself to different men, that's what yun yung mali. Yun yung mali.
So, interesting, no? So, yeah, malalim-lalim na usapan niya. Kasi, pinapakinggan kita. So, obviously, na-move ka sa theology of the body. And yun yung, I think, one of the greatest gifts of Saint John Paul II in this world, no? Yung theology of the body. So, napakaraming tao na naliwanagan ng series of sermons na yan na pinagnilayan ni St. John Paul II, yung the sacredness of the human body, di ba? Nabanggit mo kanina yung word na habang inaaral mo siya lalo mong vinalue ang iyong sexuality as a gay person. So kasi pag marinig mo yung word na vinalue mo yung sexuality mo as a gay person, yung mga ibang tao will interpret it as dahil pinapahalagan ko siya, therefore ipapractice ko siya. 'Di ba? Therefore, makikipag-engage ako in gay sex. Pero in your experience, parang yung na-realize mo na pinapahalagahan mo yung sexuality mo as a gay person, ang conclusion mo was not to engage in gay sex, 'di ba? Not engage in homosexual activity. So, maaari mo bang ma-share sa mga podcast viewers bakit naging ganun yung conclusion mo? So, yeah, napaka-rich nitong question na to.
Actually, when I said that the more I value the sexuality, no, I kumbaga parang i-clear ko lang, no, na that I value myself. I acknowledge that I am gay. Kumbaga meron tayo kasing characteristics. I have characteristics of a feminine side, ganyan. And I don't debunk na that I'm a gay person. Kumbaga, tanggap ko yun eh. Tanggap din ako ng family ko that I'm gay, ganyan. And also all my friends know that I'm gay. And I never felt that acceptance, no? I never felt so much acceptance, talagang sobra-sobra from the people around me about my sexuality. But when I say that that when I say that I value more my sexuality, it doesn't mean that I value what I'm doing physically with other people than what I am as a person. So I hope clear yon sa lahat that that how I see yung having sex than sexuality, no? Kasi that's two different things.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So kumbaga, siguro another way of looking at it, dinidistinguish mo yung you as a person, as a sexual person versus what you do, 'di ba? Yung sexual activity versus ano yung inclination mo, 'di ba, towards the same sex. Tama ba? So, yung pinapahalagahan mo yung pagkatao mo as a sexual human being, 'di ba? Tama ba? Okay.
Actually, kasi the sexual activities kasi is different from sexuality eh.
Okay.
Diba? So, kumbaga, we we can be sexual, we have our sexuality, but sexual activities are different. So,
So,
I value my
oh,
sexuality
yeah,
as a
yeah.
person.
So, siguro tatanungin ng ibang tao, pero paano mo i-express pa yung sexuality mo kung hindi mo i-act on it, 'di ba? So, yun. So, yun yung siguro yung follow-up question. So, sige, maybe we can share with us how do you show that you value your sexuality, 'di ba? As opposed to valuing the sexual activity.
Well, honestly, Kuya Edwin, there are so many temptations, no? There is pornography. Ito, I'm being frank and honest, no? There is pornography. There are people there outside who will tempt you, and may mga indecent offers, mga ganyan. But how do we find ways, no? How do we find the reconciliation for this, no? Actually, the more as I grow old, no, Kuya Edwin, I'm already 30, and I know there are viewers here who are under 20, who are under 30s, on their 20s, ganyan. And there are also viewers na medyo may edad na. In my life right now, I pour out all my energy and yung all my energy into something else, like my job and my family, ganyan. And the more I do it, um the more I do it, nawawala yung ano eh, yung attention ko with some other things. Nawawala siya. I'm not saying that it's wrong to be in that situation, no. But it's not as important as other things in my life
Okay.
right now. Oo.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so I think maganda yung sinabi mo, no? So, kasi yung sexuality, yung one sexuality as distinct from the sexual activity, yung one sexuality is a gift from God and it is a creative force, 'di ba? So, yun yung sexual energy na yun can create, 'di ba? So, kaya nga yung male sexual energy or sexuality and female sexuality parang once na nag-combine sila, it bears fruit, nagkakaroon ng tao, 'di ba? So, in your case, pinapahalagahan mo yung value of your sexuality, your value of your creative force within you
Yes.
by channeling it to productive work, no? So kung napapansin po ng mga podcast viewers natin from the past 2 episodes hanggang ngayon, 'di ba? So yung background po ni Brother Akim is para siyang nasa bukid, 'di ba? Nasa farm. Because in fact, he is a farmer, 'di ba? So yun po yung trabaho niya, 'di ba? And maganda yung farming analogy kasi, 'di ba, yung farm, yung gospel about a farm, for example, yung parable of the sower, 'di ba? So yung sower nagso-sow siya ng seeds, 'di ba? So yung seed po in Latin is semina, 'di ba? Or semen, 'di ba? So maganda yung binention ni Brother Akim na china-channel niya yung kanyang masculine energy into productive work. So specifically in farming, and in farming that's what he does, no? He plants seeds, 'di ba? So siguro to concretize kung ano yung ibig sabihin niya about valuing yung kanyang sexual energy and channeling it towards something that is productive. Yun. So siguro pag-usapan natin yung sexual activity, 'di ba? So I think masasabi mo naman yan, Brother Akim, and ako, I can testify na it's very pleasurable, 'di ba? So that sexual activity. Pero bakit mo siya ayaw, 'di ba? So yun yung so kung pleasurable naman siya, 'di ba? So I mean both of us experienced that it was pleasurable, pero bakit mo siya ayaw?
Actually, hindi naman sa ayaw, no? Kasi talagang pleasurable ang sexual activities, no? But ma-share ko lang siguro my experience with it. Kasi I started my first sexual encounter during high school at an early age. And I can say na talagang I lived a promiscuous lifestyle. This was before when I entered the church and when I entered the charismatic movement. But then sa mga natutunan ko with the Catholic Church and with the charismatic movement who values more relationship, community, and the love of God, dun ko na-experience how important myself is, and how important and how I have to value myself, not only my spiritual aspect, not only my spiritual side, but also my physical side. Kasi I remember this story that I learned from someone. If it's okay to share this, no? Para sa viewers. When you do sexual acts, it's like you're giving a piece of yourself to him. So, like for example, you do your sexual act with someone, you give a piece of yourself to him, and you leave it there, and another someone you leave it there, another someone you leave it there, another someone you leave it there, until such time that you feel lost because you have nothing else in yourself. So,
Okay.
so that time when I was not in the charismatic movement, talagang ang dami. I will not lie, no? As a gay person, I will not lie. Talagang it was a promiscuous lifestyle. I gave myself to so many people. And it was so hard for me to put my pieces back into pieces. And only the love of God did that. Only the love of God.
Correct. So, maganda yung example mo, no? So, I think base doon sa kwento mo at experience mo, yung pagpapahalaga mo sa sarili mo meant growing in the virtue of purity and
Yes.
chastity, 'di ba? So, as opposed to yung pagpapahalaga sa sexual activity. So, bumabalik tayo doon. So, and interestingly enough, ganun kasi yung virtue of chastity, 'di ba? Yung ang goal ng chastity kasi as per catechism is binubuo tayo. Ang goal niya is towards unity of life, 'di ba? So, hindi tayo fragmented but rather united. So, exactly as your experience, no? So siguro ako ginagawa ko lang siyang technical catechetical, pero exactly yung feeling mo na kaka-booking mo sa maraming tao, masaya siya, pleasurable siya, but ultimately you felt na para ka nang nawalan ka na, naubusan ka na kasi yung iba't ibang bahagi mo pinamigay mo na sa ibang tao. So you run on empty. But when you started to value yourself through the virtues of purity and chastity, mas nararanasan mo yung buong pagmamahal, na mas tinatanggap mo yung love of God much more fully and much more holy, diba? So, ganun. So, maybe you can describe with us, for us, na ano yung experience na, yung ganun, yung experience of healing, yung experience of pagkabuo versus experience of pagkakahiwa-hiwala, yung ganun, experience of empty versus experience of being full, no? So yeah, para I'm sure baka maraming makarelate doon sa story mo.
Sige po. Actually, malaking part talaga yung pagiging parte ng Catholic Church, lalo na sa mga communities, ganyan. Kasi that's when you will feel that you're not alone. That you're not alone. Maraming tao din dyan ang may kulang-kulang, no? Sabi nga nila, church is the hospital of the
Wounded. Yeah, on the
wounded, no? So, kumbaga, it's an yung the more that I experience healing from the Catholic Church, the more I have something to give. So yung feeling na that's when the time that I engage more in volunteerism, talagang mga charity works, ganyan, it manifests on that yung mga pagsiserve sa prison, and pamimigay sa mga bata kapag Pasko, it manifests on that. And the energy that I am reserving the sexual energy that I'm reserving for myself nata-translate to volunteerism, to charity works. Ganun ko siya nakita, Kuya Edwin eh. Kaya this time, ewan ko, na culture lang siguro sa sarili ko or it has become my habit na talagang I was able to manage more my energy better this time, lalo na ngayon that I'm handling so many things, especially now I'm handling so many farmers, mga young farmers. So that's where I translate yung sexual desire that I'm feeling with men. Although yes, I'm kumbaga natatempt ako sometimes to look into to men na, oy, ang gwapo niya. Pero feeling ko hanggang doon na lang yata. Hanggang doon na lang. And then I can say na it's been 3 years of purity and abstinence that I have right now. And it's not that I'm proud of about it, but I want the people to understand how it is processed, no? Although para maibaba yung lengguwahe nung ating pinag-uusapan, doon ko binubuhos, no? Doon ko binubuhos yung aking mga nararamdaman. Sabi nga ni Kuya Edwin, it's creative
Energy or creative
and
force.
it's a creative energy, no, that we have to pour into to some other things like yun nga, more important things.
So going back to how we started this part 3, no? So in the end, kahit hindi ka nakikipag-sex sa kapwa lalaki, yung desire mo to share the love of God towards others, nagagawa mo pa rin, 'di ba? So yun na nga. So kumbaga hindi necessary yung sexual activity for you to be able to fulfill that desire to share the love of God to others, 'di ba? So siguro importante na lang paano mo i-compare yung nararamdaman mo ngayon versus yung nakikipag-sex ka sa partner mo, 'di ba? Yung the fact na 3 years ka nang walang sexual activity, ano yung siguro ano yung malalim na nararamdaman mo ngayon versus yung nararamdaman mo while in that long-term relationship with your partner. So, yeah, maybe parang that could help the podcast viewers understand better.
Actually, malaki yung pagkakaiba, Kuya Edwin. Kasi when I've been in a 5-year relationship and it ended just 5 years. Kumbaga, there is only limitations. But you know, the more I do volunteerism, the more I do charity works, the effects are exponential. The fulfillment that I feel are exponential. So kumbaga, doon ko pinagbabangga no? Doon ko pinagbabangga the sexual activity that can last only a night, and the volunteerism work and the other activities that can last and leave a legacy. It sounds so cliche, or it sounds so um, it sounds too much for other people, but then it's my reality. Kumbaga, it's my experience of my sexuality and how I translate and my sexual acts energy into a different experience. And I hope that people will learn from that. Kasi these are the things that I can only share, no? I know that the viewers have other experiences as well in their in terms of sexuality and how they handle sexual activities. But I hope they can learn something from this, that they may find it helpful and fruitful for their life as well.
Yeah, so siguro sa summarize ko lang, no. So yung sex mo with your long-term partner, it's ano to? fleeting joy, di ba? Panandalian lamang or
Yes.
nauubos or nawawala, di ba? Or lumilipas, let's put it that way. Pero
Lipas.
yung love that you channel by not committing sexual activity but rather committing yung mga volunteerism is mas lasting, mas long lasting, di ba? So, yeah, while listening to you, ang dumating sa akin is yung Bible passage from the Old Testament, no? I have loved you with an everlasting love, no? So, yun yung pagmamahal sa atin ng Diyos, no? Na yung pagmamahal niya sa atin is everlasting, pangmatagalan, di ba? So, and napaka-blessed mo, di ba? Na pinaranas sa iyo ng Diyos kung paano siya magmahal in the way that you love other people now. So, Brother Akim, do you have any final words for our podcast viewers?
To all the viewers who are watching this right now, I know na iba sa inyo are coming from different walks of life, no? And what I have shared with you in these episodes are just my experience, no? We all have different experiences as LGBT in the Catholic Church. But these experiences that I've shared with you, I hope that you have you get something from it, and this may be the exact experiences that you've experienced, but you get something from this as and use it as a guide in your life. And the church is an all-embracing church. So the Catholic Church is an all-embracing church. And we know na maraming pinagdaanan ng Catholic Church and the LGBT community, no? But the church can be always your home, especially the charismatic community. Actually, maraming communities ang Catholic Church, and charismatic community is just a pinch of it. So, napakarami. And everyone is welcome to serve. Everyone is welcome to serve. And the love of God that you find by serving, by going to church, it's always best to share it with people. It's always best to share it with people. So
Okay. Maraming salamat, Brother Akim. No? So pinag-usapan ni Brother Akim sa kanyang final message is yung Catholic community. So ako po, bahagi po ako ng Courage Catholic Apostolate. Ito po yung Catholic Apostolate para sa mga LGBT persons. No? So actually, si Brother Akim is not part of Courage. So yung Be Not Afraid kasi, this is part of the CPCP Media Office, one of their programs. So gusto po nating mapakinggan yung mga storya ng mga LGBT persons na active sa Catholic Church. So, for sure, hindi lang po si Brother Akim yun, hindi lang po ako at mga Courage members yon. Alam po namin na marami kayong mahalang simbahan na naglalakbay with the church. So hindi po kayo nag-iisa, 'di ba? So ito pong podcast ay para sa inyo, and we hope to also guest you here, 'di ba? In future episodes of Be Not Afraid. So until then po, I am your host, Edwin Valles. And so if you want to know more about Courage Philippines, the Catholic Apostolate for persons with same-sex attraction or LGBT persons, just like our Facebook page po, Courage Philippines. And then for more episodes and more programs from the CPCP Media Office, do follow us at Faith Watch TV in our YouTube page, and like and subscribe to our page so that you will be alerted for more programs. And so until our next episode, until our next interview, so again, let the loving words of Jesus Christ resonate deeply in our hearts with whatever we're going through in our life now. Na He is there telling us, "It is I, do not be afraid."